Welcome back to Weird Stuff in a Can. Today's Weird Stuff in a Can is peas pudding. So, peas pudding. Now, we could talk for a very long time on what are the meaning of these two words here. Actually, peas spelt like that, and pudding, because the word pudding actually means quite a lot in British English and quite a lot of different things that it doesn't in other English-speaking parts of the world. But we're going to skip over that and we're going to talk about peas pudding today. So this is something called peas pudding. It's like a pate made from yellow split peas. It's a very, very ancient recipe. This one is made from, let's just read the ingredients, rehydrated yellow split peas, water, salt, natural turmeric flavouring and paprika extract. Now, so obviously that's a vegetarian version of peas pudding. In years gone by, peas pudding would have been a poor people's food. It would have been eaten by people in great poverty and perhaps people without their own cooking facilities. And what people used to do is they'd get a little bundle of yellow split peas, wrap it up in cloths. So they'd make a little bundle in muslin or something like that. They'd take it along to the butcher and they would ask the butcher to cook their split peas in the cauldron with the hams and bacon that were boiling. And he might do it as an act of charity for helping out poor people. But when they got their split peas back, they were cooked into a sort of solid mass of yellow split peas called peas pudding, and that would be slightly flavoured by the gammon or bacon or ham or whatever was cooking in the cauldron. So they'd get a little bit of taste of meat, even though they were only actually eating vegetables. So that's really the ancient history of peas pudding. It's a very old dish, and it's something that people would eat when they were in huge poverty. But it's also a staple food before we had things like potatoes in this country. Anyway, so I was introduced to peas pudding as a child. My mother comes from the north of England, and it's very popular up there, peas pudding. And I've got to say, probably as a child, I didn't appreciate this as much as I do now. I've made peas pudding before. In fact, the recipe is on my website. I'll put a link down in the description if you'd like to have a look at that. I like to make it with a ham hock or gammon, and actually I like to chop up a little bit of gammon and put it in with the peas pudding. Anyway, let's open this up and take a look. So today's can opener is the butterfly. This is quite an old-fashioned design of can opener. Let's see how we get on with that. Right, so while we open it, we could remember the little rhyme: peas pudding hot, peas pudding cold, peas pudding in the pot, 9 days old. I've no idea where that comes from. Well, I think we've just had a complete fail with this can opener. So there we go. I don't think we're going to get it open with this one. Let's have another go. No. So there we go. That's a butterfly can opener. I can't remember where I bought this. It was either eBay, Banggood or GearBest, but it's utter junk. It's utterly unusable junk. Let's just as well I didn't actually go and take that camping with me or something like that, because I guess I'd have been hungry if I had. Utter garbage. There we go. Let's go for a modern take on the same design. This is a Brabantia can opener, and that's a lot better, isn't it? That just does the job. Okay, so that is what peas pudding looks like. So kind of yellowish, slightly gelatinous mass of yellow split peas. So I think what we'll do, this is good because it does have actually the glossy look that peas pudding should have. I'm going to open this up at both ends so I can push it out onto the, oh there we go, just needed to release the air. So there we are, that is our peas pudding. Peas pudding cold. Let's cut a piece and have a look at the inside. So if you like hummus and if you like pea soup and you like mushy peas, we looked at mushy peas a couple of weeks ago in Weird Stuff in a Can, then you're more than likely going to like peas pudding. Yep, so it's just yellow split peas made into a sort of paste that can be eaten. It's traditionally eaten just spread on some bread or toast. So that's what we're going to do now. Got some nice wholemeal bread here, buttered. I'm just going to spread a bit of that on there, like that. You can of course eat it as an accompaniment to the gammon that you cook the peas with, but that's probably a bit decadent for the history of this dish. Very nice. probably does just need a little grind of black pepper. So there we go, that's pease pudding, a very, very traditional staple English food. That's Weird Stuff in a Can. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again soon.